I'd like to tell you the story of the little prince. He became my friend. Some years have passed since he left me with his sheep. I don't want to forget him. It is very sad to forget a friend. I lived alone with no one I could really talk to until I had an accident in the Sahara Desert. Something broke down in my plane's engine. Since I had neither a mechanic nor a passenger with me, I had to repair the plane myself. It was a matter of life or death for me. On the first night, I fell asleep on the sand and thousands miles from any human habitation. So, you can imagine my surprise when the funny little voice woke me up.
Please, draw me a sheep.
What?
Draw me a sheep.
But what are you doing here?
Please, draw me a sheep.
But I can't draw.
That doesn't matter. Draw me a sheep.
I took a scrap of paper and a pen out of my pocket and made a drawing.
No, that one is sick. Draw me another one.
I drew another picture. But my friend gave me a smile.
Don't you see it's not a sheep? It's a ram. It has horns.
So I made another drawing. But it was rejected like the previous ones.
This one is too old. I want a sheep that will live for a long time.
I was in a hurry to start repairing my engine, so I made impatiently this drawing.
This is only the box. The sheep you ask for is inside.
That's exactly the way I want it. Do you think this sheep will need a lot of grass?
Why?
Because everything is so small where I live.
There should be enough. It's a very small sheep.
Isn't it true that sheep eat bushes?
Yes, that's right.
Ah, I'm very happy about it. Do they eat baobabs too?
Baobabs are not bushes. They're trees as tall as churches.
But before they grow big, baobabs are small.
That's true, but why do you want your sheep to eat the small baobabs?
Look, he's going to sleep. I like the box. He can use it as a house at night.
Of course, I can also give you a rope to tie him up during the day.
Tie him up? What a funny idea.
If you don't tie him up, he can get lost.
But where can he go?
Anywhere, just straight ahead.
Everything is so small where I live. Just straight ahead. You can't go very far. What's that thing?
It's not a thing, it flies. It's my aeroplane.
So you came from the sky too? From which planet?
Do you come from another planet? Where do you come from, my little fellow? Where do you want to take my sheep?
But the little prince who asked me so many questions never seemed to hear mine. It took me a long time to find out where he came from. Each day, I learned something new about the little prince's planet, his departure from it, and his journey. There were good and bad plants on his planet. Baobabs were the bad ones. If there were too many of them, the small planet could explode. But there was also one unique flower, unlike the plants the little prince has seen before. First, He thought it was a new kind of baobab, but he watched its growth and noticed an enormous bud. The flower continued her preparations. She chose her colors with great care. She dressed slowly, carefully arranging her petals, one by one. And then, one morning, precisely at sunrise, the rose showed herself. She woke up, yawned, and said,
I am hardly awake. Forgive me, I am still all untidy.
Oh, how beautiful you are.
Really? And I was born at the same time as the sun.
Is there anything I could do for you?
I guess so. I think it's breakfast time. Could you be so kind to bring me some water?
and the little prince at once looked for a watering can and served the flower.
Here you are.
Oh, thank you. And one more thing. I hate the drafts. Could you find a screen for me?
A scream. She hates draft. That's really a bad luck for a plant. How complicated a flower is.
After dark, you will put me under glass. How cold it is where you live. It's quite uncomfortable where I come from.
What a naive lie. She had come here as a seed. She doesn't know other worlds.
Where is the screen?
So the little prince, despite all the goodwill of his love, had some come to mistrust her. He had taken seriously some unimportant words and became very unhappy. On the morning of his departure, he put his planet in perfect order. He carefully swept his two active volcanoes. He tore up the last little baobabs. And when he watered the flower for the last time and put it under glass, he felt like crying.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
I've been silly. Please forgive me. Try to be happy. Of course, I love you. It was my fault you never knew. Oh, it doesn't matter. But you were just as silly as I was. Try to be happy. Oh, put that glass thing down. I don't want it anymore.
But a wind.
My cold isn't that bad. Night air will do me good. I'm a flower.
But what about animals?
I'm not afraid of them. I have my own clothes, my thorns. Don't hang around like this. It's irritating. You've decided to leave, so go now.
She didn't want him to see her crying. She was such a proud flower. On his journey, the little prince saw some asteroids, so he started by visiting them. The first one was inhabited by a king. He was sitting on a throne.
Here comes a subject.
For kings, life is very simple. All men are subjects.
It's a violation of etiquette to yawn in the king's presence.
I can't help it. I've had a long journey and I haven't slept for a long time.
Then, I order you to yawn.
I can't do it now.
Then, I command you to yawn sometimes.
Good. Sire, please excuse me for asking.
I command you to ask.
Over what do you rule?
Over everything.
Over everything? Over all that?
Over all that.
And the stars obey? Even the sun?
Of course. They obey immediately.
I'd like to see a sunset.
You will have your sunset. I shall command it. But it will be about 7:40 p.m.
I have nothing more to do here, so I'll be on my way.
Oh, do not leave, do not leave.
If your majesty wishes to be obeyed, you might command me, for example, to leave in a minute.
I'll make you my ambassador.
Grown-ups are very strange.
The little prince continued on his journey. The next planet was inhabited by a drunkard. This visit was a very short one, but it made the little prince very sad. The drunkard was sitting silently in front of a collection of bottles. Some of them were empty and some full.
What are you doing here?
Drinking.
Why are you drinking?
To forget.
To forget what?
To forget that I ashamed
Ashamed of what?
of drinking.
Grown-ups are very strange.
The little prince went away and he continued on his journey. The next planet belonged to a businessman. This man was so busy that he didn't even look up when the little prince arrived.
Good morning.
3 plus 2 make 5. 5 plus 7 make 12.
Hello.
12 plus 3 make 15. Hello. 15 plus 7 make 22. 22 plus 6 make 28. That makes 500 million, 22,721.
500 million of what?
Are we silver? 500 million of... I don't remember. I have so much work. I'm a serious man. 2 and 5 makes 7.
500 million of what?
Oh, those little things you sometimes see in the sky.
Flies?
No, Those little shiny things.
Bees?
No, those little golden things that make lazy people daydream.
Ah, you mean stars.
Yes, that's it. The stars. But I'm a serious man. I have no time for daydreaming.
But and what do you do 500 million of stars?
Nothing. I own them.
You own the stars?
Yes.
How can you own stars? They don't belong to anyone.
That's why they are mine. I was the first person to think about it. I manage them, I count them, and put them in a bank.
That's not very serious. I'm on a flower myself. But you are not useful to this. But you are not useful to the stars. Grown-ups are certainly very strange.
The next planet was the Earth. The Earth is not just an ordinary planet. There are 111 kings, 7 million drunkards, and 900,000 businessmen. In other words, millions of grown-ups. So, when the little prince arrived on the Earth, he was very surprised not to see any people. Then, he saw something moving in the sand.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Who are you?
A snake.
What planet is it?
You are on the planet Earth in Africa.
And are there not people on Earth?
This is the desert. There are no people in the desert. The Earth is very big. Why have you come here?
I'm having some problems with a flower.
Oh,
Where are the people? It's a little lonely in the desert.
it's also lonely with people.
You are a very funny creature. I want to some fine of people. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
The little prince walked a long time through sand looking for people. He climbed a high mountain, hoping he would get a view of the whole planet and all the people on it. But he saw nothing, only mountains and peaks of rock.
Where are you?
Where are you? Where are you?
Let's be friends.
Let's be friends. Let's be friends.
I'm lonely.
I'm lonely. I'm lonely.
The little prince felt very lonely. He lay down on the sand and cried. It was then that the fox appeared.
Good morning.
Good morning. Where are you?
I'm here and behind the rock.
Who are you? You are very pretty.
I'm a fox.
Come and play with me. I'm so sad.
I can't play with you. I'm not tamed.
Oh, I'm so sorry. What does tamed mean?
You are not from here. What are you looking for?
I'm looking for friends. I'm from another planet.
Another planet?
Yes.
Are there any hunters on your planet?
No.
That's interesting. Are there any chickens?
No.
Oh, nothing is perfect.
What does tamed mean?
It means to create ties.
To create ties?
For me, you are only a little boy, just like thousands other little boys. I don't need you, and you don't need me. But if you tame me, we will need each other.
I'm beginning to understand. There is a flower. I think she has tamed, and I have tamed her. She is more important than any other flower. She's my rose, because I watered her and put her under glass and listened to her complaints.
It's the time you spend on your rose that makes your rose so important. I'll tell you my secret. One sees clearly only with the heart. Never anything essential is invisible to the eye.
Anything essential is invisible to the eye.
People have forgotten this truth, but you mustn't forget it.
Oh, I won't get it. Thank you, Fox.
But remember, you become responsible forever for what you've tamed. You are responsible for your rose.
I'm responsible for my rose. I have to go. Goodbye, Fox.
Goodbye.
It was then that I met the little prince and made the picture of the sheep for him. We became friends. After that, I managed to repair my plane, and the little prince came back to his planet. Since then, I like observing the stars at night. From time to time, I say to myself, the little prince is somewhere there. He puts his flower under glass at night and watches his sheep carefully.